Saturday. How's everyone?
Morning.
Good morning. Cheers. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
You know that today is really the Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Jill. Happy Mother's Day, Rachi. Happy future Mother's Day, Irina.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day, good mommy.
Yay. Woo.
How's everybody?
I am so good. I had so many good things happen this week and super excited to be part of this show today again.
Oh, we're good. Actually, this week we experienced 4 seasons here in New Jersey.
What?
Yeah. We had summer, spring, fall, and yes, right now it's winter because it's actually 35 degrees.
What?
Oh,
My goodness.
what?
Here it's so hot. Seriously. Yeah. So
Yeah.
The AC on.
Yeah, last night.
We got our heat on last night.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Wow. 100 today in Phoenix. 100.
What?
Whoa.
Yes. Yes.
100. Someone save me.
Oh yeah, because you know what, Jill here, she's from Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes.
Yeah. And Rochi, she's from New Jersey.
There you go.
And
4 seasons.
Irina, where are you from?
I am from Russia.
Oh,
Okay.
and Bruce and I, we're from California. So what's going on with you, Irina?
Oh my gosh, it feels like it's really nice spring coming along. You know, it's nice to see it in my window and just enjoy the warm weather and be able to spend the day, you know, with you guys and talk about how we're doing. And yeah, it's nice. The weather is setting the tone for a good new beginning, and I think it's helping us. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you said that you have an event there, like today. It's like a huge event for Russia. What is it?
It is International Victory Day. So May 9th is the day of victory when World War II was officially over in 1945.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Nice.
so when the Allies defeated the Nazis, so this is like the International Victory Day. And it's a big, big deal in Russia.
Congratulations.
Wow, that's nice.
Ladies, I just want to show you the sunset in Russia, okay? I just want you to like.
God.
Oh.
Oh my God, give me, I'm gonna spotlight you.
Look at this.
That's beautiful.
That's awesome.
Oh my
This
God,
is-
I
this
have
is-
goosebumps.
We're on the river today. It's like it's one of the biggest rivers in Russia. This is like a little town outside of Moscow.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Amazing.
beautiful.
It's, you know, see, this is the good thing about being remote, being in this kind of business, because you can go anywhere. You can enjoy your life while you are still working and chatting with your friends like what we're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Irina, for sharing that. It's so beautiful.
Yay. You're welcome. It's a beautiful time right now. It's like a very beautiful time in Russia right now. The spring and May is full of like holidays for Russia, like May 1st, May 9th,
Nice.
May 1. It's a big deal. So, and it's a beautiful weather right now, and you see the trees are blooming, and it's just it's
Amazing.
precious.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of like events, this month is also mental health awareness.
Yes.
I just found out today. I saw it on my news feed, and it says it's a mental health awareness, and partly we're going to talk about that. So let me just explain what the past story is all about. Our past stories are the ones that we don't really want to share to other people, but we know that it will inspire them. So the more that you're so ashamed to share it, then that's the best thing. With your story, you can actually connect to your clients and connect to the people who needs you. Jill, can you tell us something about your past story?
Well, thank you for asking such a great question and having me share. So for me, I for a long time throughout my entire life, I gave and gave and gave to family, friends, my kids, my husband, and I just gave it all. I just was all in, and I'm gonna do this, and I wanted to always have this so-called perfect life, right? And do the right thing and be the right person and all of these things that I put pressure on myself. And it wasn't until probably 2 years ago where I had this epiphany where I was like, you know what? My cup is dry. My cup is dry. I cannot give anymore. And to be able to do that now, and to be able to realize that you have to have a balance, and you can't love someone more than you love yourself, right? And to be able to give and give and give is wonderful. But if you're not taking care of yourself and really filling up your own cup, it's draining. And the life that I live now with that different mentality is just so wonderful. It's so wonderful. And I want that for all of my clients. And I've learned a lot, and no one's life is perfect. And I love being able to take what things that I've learned through my entire life and to be able to say, guess what? My life is not perfect. Your life's not perfect, but I want to hold your hand as you go through your journey. I love now living a new life that is all about filling up my own cup and really being able to show self-love and love myself. And I'm now a better mom and daughter and sister. And it's just so fulfilling to be able to think of yourself in a whole different light, and to be able to say, I love me, and now I get to love you even more.
Yes.
So I tell my clients all the time, it is so important. Step number one is filling up your cup, being loving, and showing grace to yourself first.
Yes, I love that. That's a good one.
I would say about 8 years ago, when my kids were properly diagnosed with food allergies. It's 4 out of 4 kids have multiple food allergies. No wheat, no dairy, no soy, no nuts, no peanuts. I'm like, what are you going to eat? It was at that time when I have to read all the labels. I would go grocery shopping in the store, and I have to read each label. 2 hours, and there are 2 cans in my shopping cart, and I was crying, and I don't know, and I wish there would be somebody who would tell me, oh, I have a recipe for this one, because at that time all I wanted is for my kids to have a normal life.
Yeah.
That is tough. I mean, I have to buy more expensive groceries, because allergy friendly stuff are not cheap. That time in my life was the hardest, because I have to relearn to do things, and I have to give up my career to be a full-time mom. My income is going down. It's like zero and everything. And I'm like, when I started my blog, it's actually just to help other moms like me, because I said, oh, 4 of my kids ate this product, so it's worth buying. It's the best $7 bread that you could buy. When I asked, Lord, why did you give me this food allergies? And it's not only one. Why is it 4 out of 4? It's like winning lottery 4 times. And I know, but because my background is also in psychology and marketing. So psychologically wise, I want my kids not to feel left out, not to feel different. I want them to be normal people. I want them to, I let them cry when they can't have that cupcake on a birthday party. because you know what, life is not fair, honey. I told them, so I was trying to take care of not just their physical needs, but there's mostly, I would say, psychological, because I don't want them to be um what do you call this, handicapped on that
Yes.
aspect.
Let's go to Irina Kurtzevaya. So,
Hi.
yeah, so tell us your past story.
Yeah, I guess this is the tough one, huh? Yeah, mine also goes back 10 years, Rachi. It's interesting. I was pleasing people, I was trying to be good for everyone, and it ended up backfiring on me. I couldn't understand why my relationships didn't work. As much as I put into everything that I didn't feel like appreciated, and I didn't see appreciation. I had a failed relationship. I was about to be married to a person that I really, really loved. And for the longest time, I couldn't explain what happened and why we couldn't actually go forward with the marriage. There were so many misunderstandings. There was lack of communication. Fresh out of college, starting almost done with college, and I had been actually working I started working, and I realized that I can't go forward in my job. So it happened that I kind of everything fell apart at the same time. I lost my grandmother. I lost my fiance. I lost my friends, everyone that I grew up with. I lost my job. I couldn't find a job for the longest time afterwards. Not that I lost my job. I left my job, but then I couldn't find another job for a long time. So I felt like a complete disaster and destruction hit me, and it all happened at once, and I think I've been unraveling the reasons behind it for the past 10 years, really. And I think what I did was I went into exile and became an outcast from being a center of attention, kind of center of my group, and having a lot of people around me, to being alone. It turned out that I couldn't actually go to anyone that I had around me for any answers. That was even more hurtful and ironic. The people I considered to be my supporters or my friends ended up being completely not the ones who I thought they were, and I couldn't even go to them, and then there was no lack of trust, and I just shut down and shut in, and felt like I had to do it all on my own. And that's when I started to go after what I really wanted, and that was when I first started consulting startups. The passion came from the failure, because I know what it feels like to be in the shoes of people who don't have support, and who mean well, and who have an honest heart, and who have best intentions, but they just don't have the support, and they don't have a coach, or they don't have a mentor, or they don't have a good sounding board around you. And what I realized when I started talking to all these people, and it ended up being entrepreneurs at that time, because a lot of people lost their jobs and turned to starting businesses, because that was another way out, and I saw everyone needed the similar type of help. So I was on the floor, literally, as it was starting, going from person to person and asking questions like, how can I help you? What do you need? And everyone had a similar kind of, everybody needed support. And I felt that I was that type of person. I so felt them, I felt their pain, because I also needed support, and
Yes.
I gave it to them, and that was a passion to be able to help my clients, is because I know how difficult and hurtful it is to go without it, and to, so people don't have to lose everything they have, but feel inspired and go after their dreams, and do what they really meant to do, and not feel like they're worthless or bad or something's
That's
wrong
right.
with them.
So I want to hear Vern's past story.
A few years back, I used to own a senior care home. I had people taking care of the people that was living in our care home, and so I had time freedom. and I signed up for the Oakland Marathon, and I injured my knee. It was the second Oakland Marathon, and I injured my knee. I did not finish. I was in the 20th mile when my knee started swelling. And so that 3 days I was bedridden. I couldn't walk because my knees were inflamed. And I decided, okay, running is not for me. So I started cycling. I went into cycling, and in one of these restaurants, I saw this flyer about riding your bike from San Francisco to Los Angeles. And I'm like,
Ooh.
oh, man, I want to do that. And I went in there as a challenge. It was a fundraiser. And so I was challenging myself if I can actually do it. And so I started along that journey of training. I met so many amazing people that like uplifted me, you know. And so I was fundraising. I had so many people like donating, like, you know, itty bitty stuff. And then at one point, my first 100 miles. So I was riding back from like the last 50 miles. So I probably was like the last 10 miles, and I was so exhausted. And I was like alone on the road going back to like our meetup point. And this other cyclist came to me, and he was just like chatting it up. He's like, "Oh, how are you doing?" I was like, "I'm so exhausted. This is like my 90th mile, my first century I'm doing." And so, "Oh, it must be. Why are you doing it?" And I said, "Oh, I'm fundraising for the AIDS Life Cycle." I said, "Oh yeah, that's cool. I want to donate. Do you have a pencil?" I said, "Who brings a pencil while you're riding a bike?" And then, oh wait, you know, I have a fundraising page. It's bayabo.com. And I didn't think much of it. And the next day I saw a donation of $500.
Wow.
And so that was like, you know, those things like give validation of like, you know, the good in humanity. And so I was like, okay, so I spoke with my nephew and niece because I wanted them to experience this. You know, I was going to teach them about social responsibility as well. And so I invited them to join. So they became my roadies. So Miko, my nephew, he was in the food service in the whole event. And my niece, Nikki, was in the massage. She was the receptionist for the massage team. So it was a big event. It's 2,500 people, 500 volunteers, 2,000 cyclists. And my brother, I was trying to solicit, because he had a shop in San Francisco. He has an auto repair shop.
Yeah.
And my brother, when I handed him the flyer, he bluntly said, "Why are you scamming people?"
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was like, my own flesh and blood, like, thought of me as someone who is scamming people because I'm doing something for charity. And that really like messed me up. I mean, subconsciously, I think that messed me up. Like, you know, I began to have self-doubts and whatnot. And every time like I would go over to his place or to his shop, like to hang out, he would always have something to put me down. I mean, like, because I had all the time of freedom, and so I would hang out there at his shop because, you know, I want to spend the time. You know, I just like enjoy being there, like, you know, seeing him work and me learning stuff. And so he's a brother. He's my eldest brother, and so I looked up to him even when I was younger, because he would like call me when we were in the Philippines. He would work on his car. It's like, "Oh, come here, help me." And so I would like tinker with engine and stuff, you know, so I would learn stuff too. I'd help him clean stuff. And so I really looked up to him. And then he would tell me bluntly, why are you scamming people? Like in front of people.
That sucks.
So
I know.
That's so unfair.
of my self-doubt, like I really like shut off. Like I didn't hang out with a lot of people. Like I seriously did not have friends. I was like inside my care home. That experience alone, I don't want anybody else experiencing, because really, as I've said in our last episode, we are powerful, like infinitely powerful. And it's just like one small thing that one person said, it's just their opinion, it's not fact, it's not who we are. And I want people to realize that, because that's what I realized in my journey. Like, people cannot dictate who I am. I am who I am. Like, I have the power to change things. I don't have the power to change their opinion of me. I mean, I do, but why would I care what his opinion is? If I'm helping this person, why would I care what they say? There's always gonna be haters. Haters gonna hate, you know? So I just like to see people succeed, is why I want to coach.
My past story is as dark as yours. It's very ugly. I didn't wake up with a beautiful life. I have experienced darkness at an early age. But then, because I have the ability, God really gifted me with such positive energy and attitude towards life. I took that as a real blessing and I applied that to myself. So at a very young age, we were poor, all these sad stories. But one thing that really hit me the most to really rise up with my situation was when I already had my children. I started working at an early age. And then, I have all this privilege to have my own money. And then I've never experienced poverty since then, since I started working. Or maybe because I'm such a simple person that I don't really like into grand things. So whatever you give me, I would accept it with all my heart. And I'm very grateful and thankful for that. So I'm very blessed with the support of my family. But the only thing that that really hit me the most was when I had my 3 children. I came to the point where I have lots of money that I don't even really have to think about my bills and whatnot. I'm not used to taking care of my bills because it was my mom who's taking care of everything. I just give her money and then that's it. So I don't know the value of money. One day I woke up with no money, no job, no even honey. I don't even have like $1 on my pocket.
Wow.
I just woke up one day, I have nothing for some reason. I don't even understand why. I don't understand why. But the only thing that I knew then was I will not make this situation take over my life. We were kicked out of our apartment. My car was stolen. It was carnapped. I don't know where. I came to the point where I don't know where to get money for food for 3 months.
Oh my God.
So I'm just very blessed that I have my parents with me because I was the one who's helping them and they gave back the favor. So for 3 months, they helped me. But I told myself and I told my dad that I'm going to give you 3 months. Then after 3 months, I'm out of this darkness. And it happened. It happened.
Wow.
And when I knew I had to sacrifice my time. I have to sacrifice everything for my children. I have to change everything for them and endure the hardships for them. I'm a single mom for how many years? And I'm very thankful for Burns as well, who helped me a lot. And of course, other people who helped me along the way, whether it be monetary or moral support, love, whatever you may want to call it.
Yeah.
So moving on, thank you so much for giving me the support when I was crying.
Yeah, Jenny,
No.
thank you
Jenny.
for being vulnerable and sharing your story. I mean, thank you for connecting all of us and giving us the space to do the same, to really share our stories.
The fact that what they are saying is true.
Mm.
Exactly.
And that's the hardest part. And actually, I would say just recently, I read a verse somewhere on Facebook, and it's actually about um, making those allowing those people you love hurt you is not love.
Mm-hmm.
It's and it really struck me, because just because you love them doesn't mean that they can hurt you. We have to stand up for ourselves and say, you know what, you're hurting me, I'm not, I'm not letting this pass. And if you really love me, just because I love you, I can't say something that
No.
might hurt you. But
Okay, so
it's
so there.
Exactly.
Okay, so with love, it's not all about saying yes. Love can also say no. If you feel that most of the time family members or friends are the one who doesn't cheer for us, they don't, because they're not used to us being in a situation where we are doing better. They will
Yeah.
still see us like someone who they believe in. But if they see changes in us, it's gonna be really difficult for them to see that there is something really good happening to you. And let me just say that this is not because they're jealous of you or they hate you. They're not just used to it. They're confused. And we didn't even know, us too, all of us have the same reaction because we were taught that way. We were taught to react, whether it's good or bad. We were taught to react without even thinking, without even being compassionate. So it's really normal for us to have a family members. Even once in our lifetime, we have the same reaction towards our family members because we don't agree with them. But it doesn't mean we hate them or we don't love them. But you see, you can always say no to them.
You
It
know
doesn't mean
what?
that family
You know,
But
means
it's not easy. That's the thing.
yes,
It's not easy.
yeah.
yes.
If
But
it's
again,
easy.
so ladies coaches, I know that everything that's happening right now in this beautiful world is very challenging. I tried to deny myself to the situation. I tried to not be in the center of the issues right now because for some reason I wanted to be more helpful to my clients and the people who needs me more than watching all the news. So I have to be honest with you, I don't really have a lot of knowledge with COVID-19. This is maybe the second time that I mentioned COVID-19. This is the third time now. So, so I honestly tried to stay away from the situation because I don't want my energy to be ruined, and because there's a lot of people who needs our positive energy. So I know, Rochi, that you are aware of what's going on because you live in New Jersey, and it's very near New York. How is it?
okay. Reality is right now. That's why we said we felt it more, because New York has the highest cases and the highest death, and New Jersey has the second highest in the country.
Wow.
So it's for us. It's really a tough time, because when they said we're locking it down because schools, at the first time I heard it, it's like schools need to be closed. So for us, it's like, okay, it's fine. But, like we're saying, because we've been hearing cases before, I think before the lockdown, that there are some cases. But when they gave us the notice that today is, you have to go to school and the kids need to bring all their stuff, clean up their lockers. And we're like, what is going on? Because are they closing the schools? And they said, yes, bring everything, clean the lockers out. And then the following day, they just told us that, like in New Jersey, because we closed earlier than New York. So they told us, hair salons are closed, gyms are closed, recreational facilities are closed. And we're like, because I play badminton 3 times a week, and I'm like, what? You're closing all the gyms? And so they just told us to close, and they said the only thing open will be grocery stores and this one. So at that time, we're like, something's going on. But because the news are not, they're trying us not to panic, but we're like for me, because I'd said something is
Wow.
off, like it's really
Yeah.
off.
Right.
And for that, and at that time I said, what is this? And then, because before that we heard about COVID. It's something that affects the respiratory system. So at that time, I think it was 2 weeks before, I already told my kids, if somebody is sick in your school, I'm not sending you to school, because 4 of my kids are asthmatic. So I said, when they say respiratory, I was ready not to send them to school, like another sick day. But I didn't know that they're literally closing states. And that was when we first heard it, I'm like, what is really going on? But they're, actually New York and New Jersey is trying to be very positive. Like, it's okay, we're gonna open like soon, we're just cleaning up the schools. I think it's some more of a denial, but it's not denial. They're just trying to, because the first time people heard that there's a virus is that Costco ran out of toilet paper.
I know. Whereas actually you have a story about that, right? Can you tell us, you remember okay, so it was my birthday month.
March.
Plan a
March.
huge event for my birthday because it's my 44th birthday and that's my favorite number. And so I told Burns, like, you know what, this is my plan. We're going to go to Arizona, Sedona. We're going to go to Lake, huh?
The Jill.
Yeah, go to Jill, go to Lake Havasu. So we planned everything. And then all of a sudden we were in, so we don't really take it seriously in the beginning. Well, as we all, know, we don't really take seriously in the beginning until we really see that, oh my God, it's chaos already. So we were in Lake Havasu when they told us, I still remember, it was March 17 and my birthday is March 18. We were in Lake Havasu, Arizona, and we were stuck in an island.
Jenny, when I saw your photos, I was like, what in the world is she doing? Because at that time we're already close on the 18th.
Yes.
And most people don't have, I would say right then, most people don't have jobs because they close restaurants.
Yes.
And I'm like, Jenny is still posting pictures with a beautiful view.
I was dancing on the beach. And so
They didn't have any cases.
yeah. So then I felt the sadness when of course I needed to check my phone and read some of what's going on, right? The current events.
I was reading already what was going
Yeah,
on.
she was reading already. So March 18th was my birthday, and I'm like, what are we gonna do? Then we're seeing that people are hoarding, panic buying.
That was weird.
A week before we left, we were already running low on toilet paper, and we went to, and for some reason I bought paper towel instead of toilet paper. But we lasted, since we left, we didn't need the toilet paper. And then we went grocery shopping. I was really like starting to worry that people were hoarding. I said, oh, I think we need to go grocery shopping before we go back, because I think like all the news in the Bay Area, everything was running out.
Scary.
And we were like only a block away from Safeway, and we went there and like the shelves were empty.
Yes.
Here, like toilet paper, pasta, rice were gone. But luckily, there was one store. There was like bags of rice that were actually in the wrong section.
Yeah. But
Yeah, yeah,
I was
sure,
thinking,
sure.
Jen, I was really scared because can you imagine we were stuck in a place where we are not really familiar. It's scary because we don't know what's in there. We don't know what we're gonna do. I only have like few clothes with me. I don't care. I'm just gonna like, you know, dry or wash it. I know what you're thinking, Jill. I was really scared that if we are stuck in the island, then what are we gonna do, right? So we actually went to Vegas and stay there for like 3 4 days, and then reality bites. We came home, and I felt such low vibration ever in my life. I felt like California is drowning with negativity. Everyone is panicking. We couldn't buy any food in like what Burns said. There's no food.
Had a lot of food though, because we
They
already
don't have rice. They don't have pasta. All the carbs were gone.
All the forks were gone.
Oh, actually, Jen, you were happy. You know what? When we saw the pasta section, the gluten-free ones are the ones
Yes,
that left.
yes, it's true.
I bought the vegan ones, and
Yeah,
Yes, I'm vegan. So
yeah, the vegan.
That's good. See?
I was like, these are even better. Like even like the meat, the fake meat. I'm like, oh yeah, give me all of that.
yeah,
Forget it. The fake meat, it's like buy one, get one. And I'm like,
yes.
I'm getting it.
Yes. So we were blessed that way. So another story that I actually that really challenged me as a mom. I'm so far away from my children. My
Exactly.
daughter is in Australia. My two boys is in the Philippines. They have their own condominium, and my daughter, she's with her fiance. But can you imagine being away from your children or your family and these things happen? You don't know what's going to happen next. What if one day I woke up with I have COVID already? Or knock on wood, my dad actually he's sick, so he was in the hospital. Thank God that he's okay, he doesn't have COVID. But you see, my mind is really eating me up, and so for like weeks I was so down, I couldn't move, I was paralyzed. And then that's
Yeah.
when, Jill, that's when my mindset hit me. Like, boom, wake up, girl.
Yep.
Don't make any excuses. This is not the right time for you to shut down your system. I don't have clients. I don't talk to people. I didn't do anything. I got stuck, and I was in denial that everything is going down. I was in denial that no, it's okay. I'm okay. You see, when you're in denial that you're okay, the more that you are drowning.
Actually, that's what I felt because I got younger kids and they're panicking because that could have been the busiest time for us. I have two musicals for the high school and the
Yeah,
middle school, so we're all planning all those things. Then all
yeah,
of a sudden they just said stop, and I'm like,
yeah.
what? So and then the kids are like, what are what are we gonna do? What's gonna happen? Actually, they were telling me. One of my kids told me, "Oh my God, Mom, are we gonna have like a zombie apocalypse
Oh yeah.
here?"
Even
And
my children said the same
and
thing.
and and my daughter was laughing because you know what she said, I'm glad you're my mom. I said, why? Because we got a lot of food in the house. You didn't hoard on toilet paper and hand sanitizer. And but that was what I felt because I have to be strong. My parents are in the Philippines. They're
Yeah,
actually only with our helper.
yeah,
Like we have our helper.
Yeah.
So they have two senior citizens and a helper. And then I have to be strong for them because I think it's tougher in the Philippines. They closed early,
yeah,
and until now, like they only have they said like a tribute, one designated person in each household who can go out and do
yeah.
groceries.
Yeah.
And they actually have an ID for that.
Yeah.
So if that's not your name, you can't go out.
Yeah.
So that's how
Which
strict
is
they
good,
are.
right?
Wow.
It is
Yeah.
good, but it's like for me, because I told my mom, it's like, what's gonna happen, because senior citizens are not allowed to go out.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it's
because
like,
they have a
It's
very
the
low immune system.
yeah. So I was
yeah.
like, you're dependent on that house help. And it's hard to, to, I would say, to trust a house help, because you would say their judgment is sometimes not the best. So I was like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? And then I have to be strong for them, to say it's fine. And then I have to be strong for the kids. And but I've been seeing like the jobs are in jeopardy and income,
Yeah.
we've been thinking that. And I'm like, what will I do? Will I shut down? And then good thing, one thing I loved is that our school system thought of it before.
Mm.
So they were able to be homeschooled. Like
Yeah.
they would log in at 9 o'clock in the morning and log out at 1 o'clock. And they
That's
have a
good.
structure that they have the teachers with them. Because if I didn't have that system placed for them, like if I would be like those moms who would try to just take it as a summer vacation,
Yeah.
I can't. It's I said the pressure is too much. And when Jenny told me, like, you know what, be honest, don't be too tough,
Yeah.
because be honest, if you want to cry, just cry. Because
Yeah.
the more I try to look tough,
Yeah.
the harder it is for me emotionally to
Yeah.
deal with the situation.
How about you, Jill? Because you're talking about children, you have your children there with you. So, what are the changes from working and then now you're home?
Yeah. Well, and I think, the first 2 weeks were very stressful, trying to figure out the online schooling and, just the logins and the passwords and just, managing work and, of course, the kids' schooling. And, it took a good 2 to 3 weeks just to feel like, okay, we got this, right? And we could breathe. And then that's when I finally was like, okay, you can either be really negative about this situation, or you can say this is an opportunity. And, as most of you, we all have coaches too. So, definitely relying upon my coach to, remind, hey, this is an opportunity to reach out to even more people, because there's more people struggling, and helping people is the key. And what was so interesting, just the other night, my son asked me, he's like, why do you coach? Why do you coach? Why are you a coach? And, he's 10, so you have to break it down pretty simple. But I simply said, I love helping people. And I think that this, pandemic has really helped all of us embrace that feeling of how can I help? And
Yeah, exactly.
so, Irene, I'm sure, even for you, like you get creative, right? Because you can't help in ways that you normally have, right? So, and being able to help is so rewarding. Rashi, you were mentioning earlier, it's like Jenny too, like give, but like at the same time, you're filling up your cup and you're like,
Yeah.
this is great, because you're showing the love and people so need it. And it might be as simple as when you take a run in the morning or a walk, it might be the only human contact that person that you see has that day.
So, Jill, what was the situation there? What is this current situation there?
Yeah.
With the
So, well, I
COVID?
just found out that restaurants are going to be opening up on Monday.
Mm.
So they have a capacity that they can be, I believe it's 25% of their fire code capacity. So of course there'll be, certain tables that can't be, they can't just all of a sudden just open up full capacity, but 25% capacity, which, and a lot of people might not be comfortable going into the restaurants yet. So they're still doing the pickup and the curbside and things like that. So
how about you working from home and you have your kids to take good care of? Like,
No, and
What's the celebration?
well, the background music in my house every single day is spa music.
Is what? Is what?
Spa music. Spa. You know, like what you listen to just to do meditation? Like,
Yeah.
I keep it on all the time. So everybody's calm. But you just get creative where people are, you know, doing their work or homework, and you just get creative with it, and you try just to like breathe a lot. You know, patience is so key. But yeah, we make it work. We make it work. As
Great.
you know, I think doing a lot of FaceTime chats and Zoom chats with friends, I think that's helped tremendously
That's
too. Keep
For
that.
sure.
To
How
keep
about Irina? Irina, so I know that, you know, Moscow, you're in Russia. We were still talking, you were still chatting, and you were still walking outside when we're chatting, and this was just like a month ago.
Yeah.
How's it going on there? Eating
Yeah, it was
flowers.
yeah, no, it was interesting. I can resonate with everybody. So here we had the same thing. The elderly couldn't leave the house. That was the first thing that they told us to do. Then you could only leave the house to go grocery shopping or to this pharmacy or to the doctor, and you could go outside and be like, you know, 2 meters, 6 feet apart, you know. So I would still go out and run in the park where there was like no people, and I would go to the store. But for me, because I work remotely from home and wherever I am in the world, that part, it wasn't new for me, right? But I know for a lot of people, having to go and work from home and being out of the office, and especially also clients of mine who have kids, that really like pulled them out of their comfort zone. They were like, oh my God, I have to completely switch gear and be a full-time mom and teacher, because nobody knew how to figure out Zoom for a lot of schools in California, you know, so, or wherever. But like, so that was really interesting to really, when I was working with like mom entrepreneurs, that really, they were hit harder than anybody else,
Yes.
I
Yes.
think.
Actually, it's
And because yeah, I think that's huge. That's a huge thing to notice. But here, it was really, I tried not to pay attention to the news. But it kept coming and coming and coming, and like more information. And I also was like Jenny, I was like, okay, what is going on? And then it, like, I'm like, this isn't happening. Like, come on, guys, like, chill, you know. And then it kept happening and more information, and I was like, okay, this is huge, horrible. But I have to. Also felt like I was like, oh my God, I could either become a nerve lack and like anxiety attacks, or I could get myself together and realize that I have to give to people and myself. And actually that gave me the power to face a lot of my fears and do things that I have been kind of putting off, you know. So that was a really good, cool part about this.
First, I want to ask Burns.
Mhm.
So, can you tell us the struggle that, you know, you're experiencing right now, because, you know, you're working as a contractor. You're, like you said, you're good at working using your hands. So, can you tell us the challenges and just like the struggle that you're encountering right now because of the pandemic?
So, since it's a person-to-person business, it's really hard not to be worried about getting it from someone. So I didn't turn on my app to actually get hired. But it's challenging because of the financial aspect of it. Although before the full lockdown, I did get a client that paid for uh, the rent from last month. So that was good. And the beauty about having an online business helps too, you know, especially in times like this. And for online creators, this is like the perfect time to shine, actually, because everyone has the time to be on their phones and people are looking for other ways to, you know, earn a living
Everything.
aside
Mhm.
from, you know, working a job. So a lot of people like me who have online businesses actually flourish. So there's good and bad. And because of this lockdown, I was actually able to focus and finish my online training as well. So there's good and bad, but it's just a matter of thinking more of what's uh, gonna come out of it. You know, it taught me to be resilient and not for a while there I was worried because bills are gonna be piling up. But then I started talking to my creditors, you know, to utility companies and coordinating. So um yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I just found the silver lining in it, that I had more time to do the things that I needed to do to move forward even faster towards the future. So, what I have a question for everyone. What
Okay.
this challenging situation taught you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. This is a really good question. I think it taught me a lot of things. For one, to really listen and go within and go after what you want in a more focused way. The other part was how important communication is with people and how much we neglect it on a regular basis. That now that we have a little bit more time, that we actually start to put more emphasis on what's important and our true values and what is truly important, like people, family, you know, ourselves, our health. And having this time now, I have finally turned my attention to give more of my time towards what really matters, which was interesting. That this was a challenging thing, but this was what I learned. And the third one I think I would say is how creative humans get in starting to help, because everybody started helping. People started offering services in different ways, or discounted or for free. Everyone wanted to help. And I think that's a really good indicator of us being human and wanting for all of us to succeed. And I think those good qualities were brought out onto the surface. And it's like, this is what human race is. This is who we are. This is what we are actually about. And this doesn't get enough attention or limelight in normal quote unquote times, which I actually think kind of grounded all of us and showed what is really normal. You know, was that normal, or maybe we should change some things?
Do you think you're more productive? Do you think you're more productive now that you have all the time and you're staying home and you have all the time to really like focus on what's important
Absolutely.
in your business?
Absolutely, hands down.
Yeah. I can agree with everything that you said, Irina. Like it's taking a breath, right? And you know, we go, and we fill up our lives with so much, and we've been forced to slow down. And for me, I've embraced it so much. Like people are like, this has to stop. And for me, I've found really some great peace within to be able to be like, no, I spend more time with my kids. We spend more quality time together. And it's been great. And if anything, just this past week, I've been thinking about, all right, I think the light is at the tunnel, like going back and, you know, working, and just that change. Actually, I don't know about anybody else, but the change to go back scares me.
Yes.
Because it's like you've been so focused on different things in your life, and you've valued it, and you've found peace with it, and you've gotten good at it,
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, what happens when we go back?
Yes.
What happens in a month or whenever that happens, right? But I'm thinking a month, like now we've seen movement with restaurants and other places opening up. And how is that, hopefully we'll find some middle ground is what my goal.
Yes, I really like that. I feel the same way. Like I was so scared of like what's gonna happen after this. So I'm like, wait a second. I've been working at home for more than a year, so I'm used to this. But not really going out and mingle with people and accept clients here for my Reiki. I'm like, what's gonna happen? And so, like I said in our previous episode, there are three types of clients, right? The striver, okay, the downer, the striver, and the conqueror. So from being a conqueror, I went down to striver because I need to pause and see the whole picture. What am I gonna do after this? So the good thing about the striver is that they have a lot of like ideas. Just like Irina, she has a lot of ideas. All of us have a lot of ideas and we put them all together. And as a matter of fact, because of this pandemic, the Expose and Express was born.
Exactly.
So, I mean, at, at some point, I was really scared of showing positivity and gratefulness and happiness. I know that you feel the same way. Like people are very sensitive when they see that you're being positive about the whole thing,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, you have no compassion, you're so insensitive. But you see, I'm not dealing with people who are negative. I want to lift people up. And so, believe it or not, once I thought of this, the next day I messaged all of you
Yay!
because I needed you. I cannot do this alone. And even if I have to, it doesn't make sense. Because for me, the goal is to really reach out and rise up all together. And God is so good that He's really sending me all these messages. And so the only thing that I can really do is that act on it. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it's a struggle. And at the same time, it's a blessing because we see more of who we really are.
Yeah.
Rather than just like be at in the corner and, like allow things to happen. Sometimes we allow things to happen for other people because we are okay. Because we're good. We have money, we have food, we have shelter, we have everything. But how are we going to, just like what Bern said, how are you dealing with this in regards with your businesses, right? So it's just, like I said, it's just so amazing. How can a person act like so positive and encourage and influence other people when you yourself is dealing with this pandemic and we are also struggling? It's all about mindset. It's all about taking in the good and let go of the bad.
Well, like you said, Jenny, it comes down to a balance of the information that you need. And, of course, that's smart. But at the end of the day, you need to limit it too, because, it can really affect your mindset. And I think that, I've heard so many stories about how, people are, turning to, drinking more and smoking more and bad, unhealthy things to be able to cope, right?
Yeah.
And that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. No judgment here, okay? No judgment here.
Definitely.
Because you guys don't know what's in here.
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Right?
Jill, liquor stores is essential in New Jersey. All liquor stores are open.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's essential.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You
So
know, for
sorry.
businesses, sorry, Jenny, but for businesses, like Bern said, it's like, all right, well, like this can be a great opportunity to work on your business plan or, update your website or whatever it may be. I tell my clients all the time, it's like, you should not be bored. Nobody should be bored during this time, there's an opportunity to learn so much, whether it's self-healing or if it's a new language or, a master's class. Like, the resources are out there, and to take advantage of that is huge. Like, everybody needs to start looking at this as an opportunity. And that is my message for everybody.
So, Rochi, so you've been writing a lot. I saw that you're starting to write. And thank you so much for writing the Book of Love. And thank you for doing the write-ups for the Expose and Express online talk show as well. So just for everyone knowledge, she's our PR. She's the one who's writing for the press release and or owl captions and whatnot. So I'm really giving her a hard time working because so Rochi, so now you've been writing a lot. So what have you been doing since the pandemic happened for your business?
Okay. At first, I would say I had a hard time adjusting because I've been working from home for like over 10 years. And I have a routine. So when the kids have to do their homeschooling, I have to give way because we have 4 kids and they all get the internet. So from my regular work schedule is 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and that's when they're all logged in. So at first it was a struggle for me because I have to work on their schedule. But one thing I like about this pandemic, or the challenge of this one, is that number one, I was able to really reflect. I mean, I started meditating. Can you believe it? During this 2 months? Yeah. So it's like daily meditation, because I'm so used to, like, it's everything is by the minute in my house. So now it's like, if you want to eat at lunch at 1 o'clock, it's fine. It's 2 o'clock, it's more relaxed. Like, we don't have deadlines on set time. So it gave me more time to really look within. Because I told Jenny for the last few months, I'm struggling to write because I said I have a lot of ideas. I start writing pieces, but I can't finish them because, it's one of those that you have too much. And I said, is it too honest, or I'm having that perfectionist paralysis? So anyway, with this pandemic, when I see the challenges, like, you know what, it's good enough. It's not going to be perfect, but it's good enough. So let it go. That's one thing. Like, for them, if it's, if they have to do their work, it's good enough on certain hours. So I think that's one thing that helped me a lot to start writing again. And of course, since I started meditating, I also was able to connect with myself and really express what I wanted to express without editing.
Let's shift the negative thoughts and feelings to positive. So, Irina, what are you gonna give to your clients who are now suffering from this pandemic thing?
Thank you, Jenny. Great question. So what would I give and what would I suggest to my clients who are struggling during this pandemic? What I would give is to be focused on the goal. So if you have a passion that you're following, I recommend and I suggest to follow that, to focus on that. And if there is a inner voice that tells you that you have to take care of yourself, then you should honor that. I think this is a time to really listen to your inner voice and your intuition, and to do what it tells you. And for clients, the clients that I work with, they work with passion ideas and their dreams. So they have tendency to naturally last through difficult situations because your passion is taking you through it. So focusing on that will help you getting through difficult situations. And at the same time, if your inner voice is telling you, hey, I need to slow down, or I need to take a pivot, or I need to do something else right now, that's that's still okay, as long as you're listening to that inner voice, because you can come back at any time to doing your business if your inner voice is telling you that you need to do something for you, that you need to take care of yourself at the moment. So I would say listening to your inner voice and following your passion will help you get through a difficult time.
That's great. I love it. Thank you.
Great answer, Irina. Great advice. Thank you. I'm sure a lot of business owners appreciate that and can use the advice. For me, like, this challenging situation has really taught me how important a backup plan is, and um, that's what I would advocate for, is having a backup plan in case you don't have, or you lose your job. You have to have some kind of side hustle to generate income from, and online is the best way to do it because your audience is global, and there's no better way to do it, to have a business, than online, because of that reach. You have unlimited potential, but you gotta have the knowledge on how to get that client, identify who your dream customer is, and where they're hanging out, and how are you gonna lure them in to your world. So those are important things that you need to learn about when you start this business, because marketing is your revenue generator, and your actual business is just the fulfillment center. So you got to understand that marketing is where you want to put the most money into, time and money, basically. So that's it.
That is great, Vern, especially for those who didn't have any income or thinking of getting side hustles. That is a great advice. So about me, I would just like to direct it on my advice to fellow moms like me, especially during this pandemic, is to be honest. Know your strength, know your weaknesses. Because one thing I learned is that if you put yourself in there and said, this is what I need, people will give it to you. And if you say, this is what I have and I'm willing to share it, people will accept it. So just a quick example is just in our mom's group. Someone has an extra gallon of milk. She said, I can't finish it. It's going to expire in a few days. Who needs it? And then, just being honest. And then one mom would say, oh, I can have that, but I have extra bread. Do you want it? And that's when I saw the trading. It's not about being judged that you don't have this much or something has no value. You do have a value, and it's about the honesty that I need help, or I can help you with no matter how little you have, somebody will actually appreciate it. And that's one thing that I learned, what can help us go through with this pandemic.
Yes, that's a good one. I really like that. Like, accept help. Accept help.
And
You're cutting down.
Rashmi, I love your comment about, just being honest and realizing that, what, no judgment, and reaching out for help is half of the thing. Right now you look at the lines of people, needing food, and if you are able to give, to be able to, giving is a huge, huge thing right now to be able to do if you can. So for my clients that, when I'm working with them on their life planning and purposes, when you are quiet, and, Irina, you mentioned this as well, to be able to meditate and be quiet with yourself. And that's when a lot of your true self, your subconscious, comes in, and it's giving yourself the grace and the ability to be patient more, and to listen more, and to give more. And it allows us just to, at the end of the day, be our true self.
Yes.
And that's so rewarding, and that's how all of us should really strive to live on a day-to-day basis. So for me, my clients, I am telling them to really to meditate, to be patient, to give, and give to yourself as well during this time. And like you say, Jenny, all the time, be the light, you know, be the light. And this will pass and we will be better for it. And a lot of people are saying that, but at the end of the day, I really, really believe that we will be better off.
Yes, yes, that's true. I actually have, I came across to this guru, and he said that as human, we have the ability to shift our thoughts and feelings from negative into positive, and I held on to that. So I was very young when I heard that quote from this person. I actually forgot who this is, but it got stuck on my brain. And then so since then, I always use that. And because I keep on practicing that shifting from negative into positive, I became that. I suddenly can shift negative to positive. So I use that all the time with my approach with my clients, my friends, my family, most of the time for myself. And this is what it is. If there is no way, if you have no choice, you will do something about it.
Yeah.
That is a human nature. Our reaction, if we can see that there is no way, we are going to do something about it. If we have no choice, we are still going to do something about it. We will not just gonna let ourselves get stuck like in that corner. If it's the dead end, what are you gonna do? If you can't break the wall, you turn around,
Another
go
way.
back. Yeah. So
Yeah.
another thing that I learned from myself, like I use this before I preach. I practice it. I practice what I preach. So when times like this, when there are tough situations that arises, unexpected situations, I easily recognize that I am not in control. But of course, in the beginning, you would be like, no, you're gonna face it. But when you know that you are not in control anymore, you back up and pause, you breathe, and then see the bigger picture. What's in that picture? I am outside that picture. What is it that I can give more to improve in that picture?
Mm-hmm.
I begin with myself. I don't start practicing with my clients. I practice first with my own situation. So I pause and then I breathe and then I see what's going on in there. I face my fears by, even if I cried so hard, even if my ego will hit me and kill me, I would still face to face. It's what you call that, like a coalition?
Yeah, collision.
Yeah, head to head, heart to heart, spirit to spirit. Because the only way that I can really rise up is to hurt myself by facing my fears and seeing the truth, acknowledging that there is a really problem within me that I need to heal, and I need someone to help me with that. And so I will seek for someone who would help me, whether it's be a friend or even my mom, my sister, Burns, all of you guys who are here, my mentor, my coaches, anybody who can help me, because all of us needs to be heard, and a lot of us wanted to be a hero. So take advantage of these people who wants to be a hero, which is Jill, Burns, Irina, and Rochi. We all want to be a hero. And by being a hero to these people who needs us, the benefit and the satisfaction that we will get from them is how they became who They are because of our help, right?
Yeah.
Find somebody who will help you get there. And us coaches, we've been there. We know what you're going through. We know the struggles. And if you need help, just reach out. If you have questions, just reach out, because we can get you there. We can get you the result that you want much quicker, because we've overcome that struggle, and we've developed ways on how to do it efficiently, saving you time and money. So there's different coaches here that could help you get the help you need, or receive the help you need.
Yes.
If you want results to happen rapidly in your business or in your life, you know you've been attempting to do it yourself. I think it's time to bring in somebody who understands, who has the same experiences as you.
That's good. Jill.
Exactly, Jill.
Well, Jenny, I love how, you know, you've highlighted our team here, and I really think it's the dream team. So
Yeah.
when you look at, you know, yourself and you say, okay, I need someone to help me in a certain area of my life, that's awesome. It's kind of, our team has, you know, anything from marketing and lead generation to spiritual healing, to health and wellness, to business, to life planning.
This show is not just about showcasing ourselves, exposing and expressing ourselves. This show is also about you. We want to serve you. So to end this beautiful show today, which again, I always say that I really appreciate all of you for sharing this moment with me, for creating. We are all creator of Expose and Express online talk show. We are all creator of this talk show. And this wouldn't be complete without all of you, because no matter how I want it to happen, I know that God gave me as an idea to bring all of you here, each and every one of you. And again, it is not about just the money that we will get from all of us and from other people, that we will get from this show. Mostly this is to pay it forward and to glorify God with all the blessings that we receive. And I want all the people to know who's watching right now that if you decide to be a coach, all of these people here that you're seeing in front of you, they are the bestest among the bestest. Because we have experienced darkness and we overcome darkness. And we only believe in one thing. We have God above us who's guiding us and who's taking care and providing for all of us. And we are channeling that love and light and that power. And so we can give it all to you. And we are not just here to provide solution for you. We are also taking care of ourselves, just like Jill here, the master of fill your own cup. He is the master of fill your own cup. We also need to do a lot of magical things for us to have stability and foundation. It is not easy to be a coach, but it is doable. It is not easy to be a coach, but with the love in your heart, with the power of love in your heart, you can overcome this and you will be as great as all these people right now in front of you. So if you are going to, if ever that you have a calling right away, just choose the coaches that you want here. We have everything here. Jill, life and business coach. Rochi, the expert of the health food allergy mom. And Burns here, web designer and coach. She's actually the Jane of trade. And Irina, a business consultant. And I'm a spiritual healer and spiritual life coach. So this is, again, a business in a box. So anything that you want to achieve in your life right now, whether you want to be a life coach, you want to be a healer, you're a business owner, and you need help from all of us, just write us, just email us, inquire for all of us here, and we will attend to you. And that is for sure.